We are at the heart of America's inland waterways, the original highways of America. We're known as the Four Rivers region. We have the confluence of the Ohio and Tennessee rivers, two major rivers of the United States, right here in Paducah. And just outside, we have the Mississippi River and the Cumberland River.
As early as 1778, George Rogers Clark was sent here, sponsored by the Territory of Virginia, came.
We also have the Tennessee River.
And noted that the mouth of the Tennessee would be a very good prospect for a city site. 50 years later, his younger brother, William Clark, founded Paducah. He named it after the Chickasaw Indian tribe that he had encountered out west that was almost completely decimated by contact with Europeans. With the rivers being the original highway, it made sense that Paducah would be a strategic spot to set up a town. And George Rogers Clark deeding it to George Woolfolk, who then sold it to William Clark for the sum of $5 in hand. That river continues to play a huge and vital role even today. One barge container is the equivalent of 60 tractor trailer loads, or you could say that one tow containing 15 barges is the equivalent to over 1,000 semi-trailer loads. That's also compared to over 200 railroad cars.
Some of the most notable industries in Paducah would be the river industry because of our location and transportation, which also plays into the railroad industry. Paducah is a certified cultural district in Kentucky and a UNESCO creative city. People know of Paducah's creative economy and some of the smart strategies that the city has used to develop our economy here.
In the mid-1900s, Paducah got a shot in the arm with the arrival of a uranium enrichment plant. Our population doubled when it arrived, both with engineers, construction. It provided an opportunity for the community to grow.
People have heard about our artist relocation program, which brought artists from around the country to revitalize our oldest residential neighborhood and turn it into an arts district.
Paducah has a rich history of growth and development based on some innovative programs that occurred over a decade ago that involved bringing artists into the community to rehabilitate a formerly premier property or neighborhood in the city of Paducah. This was known nationally as Paducah's Artist Relocation Program, and it led close to 70 artists to relocate from places around the country to the city of Paducah. So we know that art is healthy and vital here in Paducah because we've been recognized by international forces, but we also know that it's healthy and vital because we live here.
People know quilting and the fiber arts as our niche worldwide because of the American Quilters Society and Quilt Week and the National Quilt Museum.
The National Quilt Museum is the largest quilt and fiber art museum in the world. When people come here, they're going to see 3 galleries of between 150 and 200 artworks. And what they all have in common is they're made out of some form of fabric and generally have 3 layers.
These are not the quilts our grandmothers made. These are championship quilts, works of art.
We have multiple venues for music and performance.
Few would expect that a town of 25,000 would be able to house a thriving symphony orchestra. And that's what we have here in Paducah, one that performs at the Carson Center 1,800-seat facility that brings acts in from across the country.
Another wonderful feature of downtown is the wide variety of specialty shops that, you can get everything from wonderful clothing and really unique gifts to our region, great antiques shops as well. So it's just really a wide variety in just a 2 or 3 block area.
One food that is well known to Western Kentucky is barbecue. There is one name in particular that resounds with all locals, and that is Starnes Barbecue.
Also, Paducah is known for historic downtown
And Starnes Barbecue is not everybody's choice in Paducah. A lot of us prefer the Country Castle.
selection of locally owned restaurants that not only serve their entrees and specialties with artistic flair, but they also have a historic ambiance of being in the historic downtown architecture that has been preserved.
And speaking of cuisine, one that comes to mind is our local downtown bakery, Kirchhoff's. It's a fifth-generation bakery and represents some of the
And just to let you guys know, Kirchhoff's is outrageously priced.
wonderful variety that we offer in downtown.
One food that may be most known that is unique to Paducah is Dippin' Dots, a cryogenically processed ice cream, what they call the ice cream of the
And I work there, so just FYI, for purposes that I love my subscribers, eat Dippin' Dots at your own risk.
future. The world headquarters is based right here in Paducah.
Paducah has many vibrant cultural assets. The River Discovery Center is a heritage museum that takes you inside the river culture of Paducah.
It's housed in a pre-Civil War building that's all been restored and offers a wide variety of interactive exhibits that teach all about our inland water.
Okay, so I'm from Paducah, and I didn't even know that existed, so this is pretty cool. Glad I was able to bring this to you guys and myself.
Ways. One of the highlights of the River Discovery Center is our state-of-the-art boat simulator that is quite a popular attraction.
Our two favorite native sons in Paducah include the Vice President of the United States under Harry Truman, Alvin W. Barkley, and another favorite son, Irvin S. Cobb, writer, short story writer, humorist, and ultimately became known in Hollywood as he was one of the first hosts for the Academy Awards. Alvin W. Barkley worked his way up the ranks as a junior senator, a senior senator, majority leader, and then vice president of the United States, and then went back again to being a junior senator. At the end of his life, when he was giving a speech, he told his story about his political career and summed it up by saying that he was now a junior senator and that he was happy to be on the back row, that he would, quote, rather be a servant in the house of the Lord than to sit in the seats of the mighty. About 10 seconds later, had a massive heart attack, fell into the microphones, doctors arrived, but he was already dead. That's a heck of an exit line, if you ask me.
One cool fact about Paducah's history is that several scenes from the classic film How the West Was Won were filmed here.
It is hard to get away from the banks of the Ohio and the confluence of the Ohio and Tennessee rivers, simply because that is sort of where we were from, where we were based, and also it has become the heart culturally of this place. The wall-to-wall flood wall murals that sit right at the banks of the Ohio really become a diary and the story for Paducah.
Along Paducah's wall-to-wall flood wall murals, taking that walk really takes you through the rich history of Paducah's founding to its present day. You're able not only to see a visual image that really has great impact, in a quick walk you're able to discover the essence of Paducah.
Really didn't want to do one that's super long, so we'll do this one. This is another historic part of my hometown. This is called White Lake.
Paducah, a hometown with a different setting, a different cast of characters, where old meets new.
That one was like super weird.
Money isn't it? Just people.
Okay, so this one is the story of Land Between the Lakes. And once these little short bids run, I'm gonna read off some stuff that I typed up that I wanted to include in the live this morning.
Cumberland Rivers. 170,000 acres of forest, streams, and abundant wildlife were exactly what Uncle Sam needed for his shiny new National Recreation Area. The only problem was that this inland peninsula, known simply as Between the Rivers, was home to more than 900 families, many of whom were descendants of the Revolutionary War veterans that settled the land in the 1780s. In order to construct Kentucky and Barkley Dam, the TVA had already used the legal battering ram of eminent domain to expel the residents living along.
Okay, so that right there was the Vampire Hotel in its heyday.
Of eminent domain to expel the residents living along the riverbanks.
What it looks like now.
The population remaining between the rivers would have to be removed as well. Not just the people, but also their houses, schools, churches, and cemeteries would need to be leveled in order to create a pristine picture of nature. Any trace that remained of those strange, isolated folk would ruin the experience of park visitors. Historically, the people of Between the Rivers had access to the outside world only by river ferry. This relative isolation produced ethics of self-sufficiency, resilience, and a strong sense of community.
And since he chose not to include it, I'll go ahead and tell you guys the river ferry was Hillman's Ferry. They're also a campground now. It's a really nice campground.
Families could trace their agrarian heritage and property titles back more than 6 generations. Homer Ray, a charismatic U.S. Air Force veteran of World War II and owner of Ray's Garage, was one of the last to leave his home along with his wife Marie in 1969. In a letter addressing Congress, Mr. Ray wrote the following. In December 1967, TVA came to me to buy. I told them I had nothing for them. They told me if I wouldn't take the easy way, it would go the hard way. I told them I'd gotten nothing easy in my life, and we'd just go the hard way. The principles I fought for, and my buddies died for, such as freedom and the right for a man to make his own way and determine his own destiny, are trampled upon and flaunted in my face every day by the TVA in this LBL project. David Nickel was just 9 years old when his family was forced to move from their home in Lyon County, permanently. It was his stepfather's 4th forced move. In an article from BetweenTheRivers.org, Nickel recounts his memories of his childhood years spent there. He tells of TVA men entering homes uninvited, rummaging through private possessions at will, burning and bulldozing homes, and escorting the residents away in handcuffs, all with legal protection. He tells of the emotional toll taken on families and of desperate attempts of resistance. Nickel writes, Kentucky Dam and Lake were completed before my birth. Barkley Dam was nearing completion, and the water would soon be rising to cover the houses and land of many families on the Cumberland River side of the peninsula. Most everyone had already moved from the condemned land. I remember neighbors hurrying in with excited news that Babe Williams had blown the windshield out of a government truck with her old shotgun. Miss Babe, in her 60s by that time, had never married and ran her family farm by herself, raising a few cows, hens, and her prized turkeys. She had sworn she would not leave her home. It, like most of our farms, had been in the family for generations, and she could not comprehend being anywhere else. The government men were approaching her 2-story frame house to present her with the condemnation papers. She told them to get back in their truck, but they ignored her. One barrel, the story went, took out the windshield, and the second barrel offered enough reason for the government men to scramble back to their truck and head back towards wherever it is government men come from. About a month or so later,
That's because Kentucky countrywomen warn you once, shoot you twice.
the news arrived via excited neighbors. They had burned Babe's house. Government men had persuaded her to come in for a meeting. They convinced a local man whom she knew and trusted to take her to the meeting, for Miss Babe never did own a vehicle. The man later swore he believed the meeting was legitimate. When they discovered there was to be no meeting, they headed back to Miss Babe's place. Rounding the curve at the top of the ridge, they saw the smoke. According to the man doing the driving, she slumped in her seat and hung her head, but said nothing. They had pushed her house into a pile with a bulldozer and set it afire. All her possessions still inside. This video is just the beginning. There's a lot to analyze in this story regarding the use of eminent domain, state power, and economic intervention. Although I think the fate of the families living through the TVA occupation is probably the most important aspect of the story. I'll also be covering more lighthearted topics about adventuring and exploring between the rivers and getting out in the woods. There's a vast amount of history and folklore to be uncovered, ranging from Chickasaw gold buried under the lake to innovations in iron and steel production by William Kelly, and even more recently,
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Happens 7 o'clock in the morning, running on a couple hours sleep. And for those of you that are haters, I apologize. I'm a smoker. I am an evil smoker. Like I said, this is just kind of a wake up, good morning live. Just trying to get my channel kind of established. Had a little bit of a life change, so we're gonna do the channel thing for a while. And I apologize for the way I'm talking, guys. I got, like I said last night, a little like a bone spur or something going on the bottom jaw. It's kind of hurts. So let's see if we can find something interesting to look at with my face. It's like
Welcome to Happy Trails Hiking.
Today we are meeting family at Kentucky Dam.
Not today, we're not. Let's see what else we can find. 18 things to do in Kentucky. Drag again. That doesn't want to play fair. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I don't think I care for StreamYard much. It doesn't act right. Let's throw that up there. I don't know why it's doing that. It's so frustrating. I don't think I care for StreamYard much. It doesn't act right. Let's throw that up there.
Oh, happy Monday. Happy Monday, coffee clubbers. I see somebody was in there saying I'm running late this morning. I have been up. I've been tossing and turning since 2 a.m. So I woke up at 2 a.m., went back to sleep, woke up at 4 a.m., went back to sleep, woke up at 6 a.m., and got my butt up out of bed. So had to get up, had to get some coffee. Yes. We are not the coffee club without the coffee. So anyways, good morning all. I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. I see a lot of people already jumping in. More people will be coming in as we get started this morning. Hello, Miss Jones. Go Hogs. Nice to see you. Crystal, Nancy, Patricia, you're up with me nice and early this morning. Good morning, love. Patricia, she does a lot of drawings and things like that. She sends me some stuff. And they're really nice. I love them. I love her work. And she was showing me, I won't spread the secret. She was showing me some stuff. Hold on, I'm going to grab this stuff. I always have everything. Oh,